Hello, 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 hello. What a beautiful day and beautiful Sunday. Fresh from Easter, long break, but now we are back to business. And today we step into the world of event management. We are a continent of events, whether it's private events, public events, government events, private sector events. We love events and we love good events. And today on set, I'm joined by a lady who not only manages events, but she curates events into beautifully executed ideas. She's a person who gives you good memories post the event. You have good memories in terms of how the event pieces, were patched together, the visibility around it. None other than Miss Merci Wamoto. She's the transformative, visionary founder of Elgon Group. Merci, welcome to her memoir.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah?
Such a pleasure to be here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So honored.
Oh.
An amazing job you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A day at a time.
Yes.
A blessing at a time.
Yes.
One day we'll get there.
Definitely.
The final destination where we want to get to.
Definitely.
And nice to have you. How is Elgon Group doing?
Elgon Group is doing well.
Yeah.
We are blessed.
We thank God.
We thank God. We are growing. We are not where we used to be. And God is great.
Wow.
God's grace is sufficient.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You see how beautiful she looks. If you want an event to look as beautifully executed, then you need to be looking for Elgon Group. We'll put the details, at the tail end of this episode. So really nice to have you, Merci. I know it's been a journey.
Yeah.
You and I, we've known each other recent years. But the first time we spoke, I was very moved by your story.
Yes.
And the challenge is most of us see this final product or this progressed product.
Yes.
But there's a lot of work that has been put in. Yeah. There's a lot of sacrifice. There's a lot of those low moments. Yes. There's a lot of bouncing back that we never get to see. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, where did you grow up? How was life growing up?
Yeah.
What are the memories you have from growing up?
Wow.
Where does Merci Wamoto come from? Which part of this country?
Wow. That question at times even brings up a lot of emotions for me.
Okay.
But Merci Wamoto is a Bukusu girl from Miendo village, Munyofwe sub-location in Western Kenya. I come from Bungoma County. I was born and raised in Bungoma County. My late parents, the late Alexander Wamoto and Gladys Nekesa, passed on when I was very young.
What was young?
Yeah, my dad passed on in 2005. I think I was in class 8 at the time. And my mom passed on in 1993. I was 3 years at the time. So really growing up was not easy for me. I grew up moving from one auntie's place to another uncle to another relative here and there.
Nomadic upbringing.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And when I look back at all this, I think it is what made me. It is how I became a very resilient person. Because at a young age, I had to learn how to survive. And when I look back at that, it is actually what shaped me for who I am today. Because even the way I do business, it is difficult. It is hard to do business. But I have managed to have this resilience in me. I would call it tough skin. Yeah, I've faced challenges head on. Yeah, so Yeah, so basically that's about it, about me and my childhood. I don't have much memories and stories about my childhood because, yeah, I had to grow up really fast because I had to, I had to learn how to survive, how to take care of myself. At Form 3, I had to go to Mombasa to find my mom's relatives. And when I got there, the situation was not what I had hoped for or what I thought. So
what had you hoped for before you?
So
you're in Bungoma until when you got Form 3, then you decided
yes.
to start looking for
my relatives.
your maternal relatives.
Yeah, maternal
yes. So what did
relatives.
you hope for at that point?
I was hoping to get a safe space, a home, a family. I was hoping that because my mom I had been told so much about my mom's relatives, and I was like, okay, let me go look for them. Maybe it will be better there, to be safer. But surprisingly, when I got to Mombasa, a cousin of mine who had called me and told me, come by there, our uncle is here. He's doing very well, and your mom invested in him. So come look for him. Maybe he can even help you to go back to school. He can support you here and there. So I went to Mombasa with a lot of hope.
Yeah, because you're thinking, my mom stood by you, supported you.
Yes.
So now you understand she's not there. At least you'll take good care of me.
Exactly. So I get to Mombasa and my cousin welcomes me in her home. But apparently she wanted me to become a house girl because she had just gotten a baby.
The cousin who called you?
Yes. So I get to her house and I'm there, I'm taking care of her kids, taking care of her babies. And I'm like, oh, I thought you told me to come back because I'm supposed to go back to school. And because you're supposed to introduce me to my uncle who's supposed to take care of me. And she said, those things, you just stay here. I'll take you to a college to do hairdressing and then you become a salonist. But deep down, I had a vision. My dad was a business person. So I used to say, one day I want
to be like your father.
I want to be like my dad. I want to do business.
Yeah.
I want to make it in the business world. So someone told me to go to hairdressing. I was like,
what is this? And I love that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to connect that early life to what you're doing now.
Yes.
Your base is in Mombasa, where you've really, bloomed very well, and God has been very kind and generous.
Exactly.
Again, someone thought you'll be this business lady in a salon.
Yes.
But again, just like your father, that vision, that dream, that connection.
Yeah.
Look at you running the Elgon group.
Yes.
You've done massive events, and we'll get to those details, Merci.
Yes.
And, I think at times our initial stages of life, they build us to that something that we're supposed to be.
Yes.
You've talked about resilience.
Yes.
Actually, why her memoir exists, because you hear stories of resilience, things that women have gone through. But through that, they keep themselves intact because they know where they want to head.
Yes.
Fast tracking your story.
Yes.
Now, when you look into the mirror every day, I see your hair is well done, your face. So definitely you look into the mirror.
Yes.
When you look into the mirror, Merci, what is that mirror that you see of you? When you look at your journey, where you've come from, what do you talk to each other when you look into the mirror? Who is the Merci that you see? What reflection?
I'm a very strong person. I actually, every morning when I wake up, I'm like, you're strong. You've been through worse. Even on my bad days, I just, in fact, many times people ask me, do you ever get upset?
Yeah, because you're always smiling.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, there are those days, but I look at myself as a very strong person based on my childhood and what I have been through to be where I am. So every morning, when I look at myself in the mirror, I just always keep, of course, encouraging myself. I'm like, you know what? You're really, really strong. You have been through worst experiences and you are here now. You have made it. You can actually support other children. Yeah. You can support other women. You can take care of yourself. You can take care of your child. You have done great, Merci.
Oh, wow.
And that keeps me going.
The other day when I called you to tell you, Merci, I really want to host you on her memoir. You told me you're in Kibra.
Yes.
What were you doing on Kibra? Because it was Easter, right?
Yes, it was
You were in
Easter.
Kibra. What are you doing in Kibra?
Oh yeah, I went with my team. I'm actually really, really grateful. God has given me an amazing team. So actually I asked my team, can we go to a children's home? I also give back to orphans and women who are not able to, are marginalized rather. So I asked my team, could you guys take a day off from Easter so that we all go to Kibra and support orphans? And I'm happy they all agreed. We went to Kibera. It's called Ujama Children's Home. It has about 120 children, orphaned, some from the streets. And went with the team. We cooked. We spent Easter with them, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah. What motivates you, to want to put a smile on such vulnerable families? What is that drive? What is that motivation? Because we see a lot of companies, they do well, but not many remember to give back to the community. For you, what is your drive? What satisfaction do you find in that?
Because I know what it feels not to have. I know what it feels to go without food. I know what it feels to not even have basic things, sanitary pads. I've been there. So, in fact, one thing I always told myself, the day I will make it, I will always make sure that I can support an orphan somewhere. So that has been my motivation. And I thank God that we can be able to do it. I can be able to do that, even in the smallest way I can. I thank God that I can be able to do that and just be able to give somebody a meal here and there, support somebody.
Being a blessing in other people.
Yes. Actually, my prayer, whenever I always pray, is I always tell God, bless me so that I can be a blessing to other people.
Yeah.
So for me, when I bless other people, I have fulfilled my purpose. Because at the end of the day, God has not blessed me to
keep it to yourself.
To keep it to myself.
Yes.
God has blessed me so that I can also be a blessing to other people. So that has been my motivation.
Oh, wow.
And still keeps to be my motivation.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And now to Elgon Group.
Yes.
You're the face of this company that is managing, curating big events in this country. Yes. I'm sure many have seen the name or many know of the events, but they don't know the face behind it. Yes. When did the dream of forming Elgon Group come to you? How did it start?
So, excuse me. So now, back to my story when I got to Mombasa, and my cousin was telling me to go to do hairdressing, and I was like, no. So what I did, I went to my uncle's place, looked for him, hoping to go back to school, but he didn't. He actually, in fact, his words were, my wife is not comfortable you staying with us. So I had to, again, survive. So I looked for a job in some restaurant in a place called Mtopanga.
This is when you're in Form 3?
Yes.
You started working?
Yes, I started working. So I had to look for a job. I started working as a dishwasher in that restaurant. It was really hard. But God is faithful. I was able to move from that small restaurant. By God's grace, I managed to get a job at, funny enough, at Moi International Airport, working for a tour company.
Wow.
Without a Form 4 certificate.
Wow.
Without a degree or anything. And I did it to the best of my ability. And while I was working at the travel agency, I managed to get a job in a hotel at Leisure Lodge. Again, still with no papers. But I went back, of course, to my school. They wrote for me a letter saying that I had reached Form 3. And should I need to continue, they gave me that letter. So that's what I used to get the job at Leisure Lodge. So at Leisure Lodge, I decided to now go back to school. I enrolled as a private candidate, registered for my Form 4 exams. And I sat for my exams while working at Leisure Lodge as a restaurant hostess.
Yeah.
So I would go to work in the morning between 5 a.m. and 2 p.m. Then cross the ferry, come back to Mombasa town, go to do my classes. Evening, go back to like at around 10, go back to Diani. And in the morning, go to work. And that's how I managed to do my Form 4 exams. Finished, joined the Kenya Institute of Management and did business management. At the time, I just had a desire of finishing school and having a certificate.
Yeah.
But again, also it was alignment.
Yeah.
It was alignment in the vision that I had of
He's a God of order.
He's a God of order.
Yeah.
He's a God of order.
He orders our lives.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
So, So I went to Kim, did a certificate in business management. And then after that, I got a job at Southern Palms. At the time, there were no universities in Diani, by the way. But we had this university, Dalk Education, opened a university in Diani. So again, I enrolled now at Dalk Education, still at business management, but now at diploma level. I did that, and then, Dalk collapsed at some point while I was still doing the diploma. And then after that, I decided, you know what, I want to do my business. I can't continue working. I have to think of something. So I quit my job in the hotel industry and went back to Mombasa because I felt Diani, there was no growth in Diani.
Yeah.
So I went back to Mombasa, got a job in an insurance company, CFC Life Insurance. And the reason why I opted to work in an insurance company was so that I can have flexibility and start running my own business. So that was about in 2011. So I was working at CFC Life Insurance, selling insurance, and also supplying cereals to hotels in Mombasa.
Merci. You're a jack of all trades. Survival.
I'm telling you, right? Survival.
Yeah.
Of course, I had because I had a vision. I was like, it has to work. So so I started supplying cereals, rice, and dry foodstuffs to restaurants within Mombasa, and that is how Elgon supplies. Yes.
These Elgon supplies, you also do supplies.
Yes,
oh wow.
Supplies. So that's how Elgon supplies started. And so we moved from small restaurants to big hotels. Pride Inn has been our client. In fact, Pride Inn was
flowers. Producer, flowers for Merci. Yes.
So Pride Inn was one of our first clients. High Rock Hotel, Sunrise Resort. I've worked with Mombasa Beach, so they were our clients. We were supplying them. So that's how Elgon Supply started officially now in 2013. We registered Elgon Supplies in 2013 and now started doing the general supplies to hotels. And then while that was happening, I managed to secure some land in Kanamai, Mtwapa. I also started doing farming.
What were you farming?
Rearing chicken.
The Luya in you, it had to be chicken at the coast.
So supplying dry foodstuffs to hotels and chicken. And then, so we continued with Elgon Supplies. Then devolution happened, and then I seized the opportunity, started supplying counties. So go to counties. They asked me, so what do you do? Like I'm a general supplier. I supply dry food stuff. And they asked me, so what can you do? And I'm like, anything. You give me anything, even stationery, whatever. And that's how I started doing county jobs. So I was supplying road marking paint for counties and stationery. And ICT, ICT equipment to counties, and now moved to parastatals. And then, so we continued like that. And then while all that was happening, because I also have this hospitality background, and I love hospitality, I ended up opening up a restaurant in Nyali and Mombasa. So I ran the restaurant and the supplies business alongside. And so, of course, I ran the restaurant for a while, and then COVID happened. When COVID happened, of course, also now we started with devolution. We started having these issues of counties not paying on time.
It was a big thing.
It It was crazy. It was crazy. Actually, I can't remember the number of times I've been auctioned because of county
What do you
jobs.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Auctioneers.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have been auctioned so many times because of county jobs. So I opened a restaurant as a backup because county jobs were not
Paying as fast. Yeah.
as fast. And then the hospitality industry, the big hotels, the business had gone down. So even the hotels were not paying as well. So I opened a restaurant as a backup plan. But then COVID happened. When COVID happened, we had to close the restaurant. And of course, now think of an alternative. And before we closed down the restaurant, we started doing events at the restaurant. So people would come in, oh, want to do a baby shower, can you host a baby shower for us? And we started putting together baby showers, bridal showers, birthdays. At some point now we started getting corporates coming to do end of year parties, corporates that want to open a new business. We do launch events for them. And that is now
business just found you.
Yes, this business.
God kept driving that traffic your way.
Completely.
Wow.
And that is how now, through the restaurant, is how now the events started coming in, pole.
And that's very interesting because now your identity is events.
Yes.
Something that came at the tail end of you now trying to set up things.
Yes. So that's how events started, and then COVID happened. So again, there was a standstill in business in the hospitality industry. Of course, that is events and the restaurant. So again, I had to think of an alternative and a way to survive.
How did you survive this time round?
So while I was running the restaurant, I started doing Airbnbs in Mombasa. In fact, I'm among the first people who started Airbnb in Mombasa.
Yes. Wow.
So I was doing restaurant and accommodation in the furnished apartments. So when COVID happened, of course, we had closed the restaurant and we have apartments here. There's lockdown, people can't travel. So what I did is changed the restaurant into a liquor store. So I opened a liquor store and we started doing home deliveries for drinks. And then now in the apartments, what we will do, because there was lockdown and clubs were closed, would tell people, come, a group of friends who you trust each other, know each other, you know you're okay. We'll give you an apartment if you buy drinks from the liquor store up to a certain amount. And that is how we survived. So people will come and book apartments, and Kenyans love to party. Yeah. So people will book apartments and then we'll deliver them drinks in the apartments. And that's how we survived through COVID.
That was just continuity.
Continuity, God.
But Merci, you're very innovative.
Yeah.
Something tries to push you down.
Yes.
But you must bounce back.
Completely.
As in, how do you do it? Because we've heard of businesses that are doing well. When they take a dip, most struggle to recover. Yeah. And it's always a lot to do with the founder.
Yeah.
For you, what is your formula? Merci, that when you're talking, I can count the many doors that were shut. Yeah. Not by your own doing, but circumstances. But we kept bouncing. What is that formula that maybe other business people can also learn from you?
Prayer.
Power of prayer.
The power of prayer. There's power in prayer. It gets to a point before you grow, we tend to have surface prayers. Tell God, oh God, I want food, I want money, I want this.
Just give me this, I'll be okay. God, give me this, I'll be okay.
So you limit your prayers and you limit God. But then as you grow, you start praying different prayers. Tell God.
Bold prayers.
And tell God, you are the God of gold and silver. You are the God of opportunities. You're the God of strategy. And at times I would, most times I actually lock myself in for 3 days just to fast and pray for my business. And surprisingly, when you do that, just God gives you ideas. It's not a human thing. You can
supernatural.
I cannot even explain it. But once surprisingly, when you do those intense prayers and tell God to open doors of opportunities and tell God to give you strategy and resources, things just start happening.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might not even have the resources to do what needs to be done, but God will give you ideas to be able to maneuver and do all
The
this.
supernatural.
Yes,
Yeah.
and even send destiny helpers who will be, like, I remember last year when we were doing the CI investment conference.
You did the CI investment conference.
Yes, we did the CI investment.
Elgon Group
Yes.
did the event.
Yes. From execution, concept note
Wow.
to resource mobilization.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember when we were doing that event, we didn't have resources at all. You remember we had an event in Mombasa that left us with a lot of debts.
But you knew you had to do it.
We had to do it. In fact, on the day of the event, I had so much pressure because service providers were on my case, but the event had to happen. And so after that event in Mombasa, we got the CI investment conference. Zero resources to do the event, but I said, you know what, God, you're the one who's given me this.
You're the provider.
You're the provider.
It will happen.
It has
and
to
happen
work.
well. I love your faith.
And let me tell you, God moved in ways I cannot even explain. I got destiny helpers who came, and in fact, there were people who would be stressed out because I am not able to move.
Yeah.
They're like, are you okay? Like, people would call, like, are you okay? And I'm like, I have a team here. We don't even have food. They're like, oh my God, okay. Let me get you some money for you guys to, you guys will, I know you guys will be paid. You'll pay us back. And that is how we survived.
Yeah.
And in fact, I would go to my room and tell God, I know that is you.
Yeah.
You know, there are even people who you've not even talked to in a long time.
Then from the blue, someone just calls you.
And like, hi. And they're like, hi. Then they're like, you sound low. Are you okay? And I'm like, hi, business is not working. I'm like, oh, okay. How can I help?
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is where I am. I don't know anything. And people just move in to support and really help. And that's how we managed, because the event in Mombasa really drained us completely.
But it was a beautiful event.
Oh, yeah,
it was a privilege. I was part of it. It was such a beautiful event.
Yeah.
You had a lot of, high-level guests.
Yes.
But also it's the output, bonding, networking, which was quite beautiful.
Yes.
Looking that you've done so many events, Merci, what will you say are your 5 topmost events that you look back and you tap yourself? It's like, God, we did it. What will be these 5 topmost events?
So when I talk about the First Stack Africa Women's Summit, which we did in Kisumu, we had all the Lake Region Economic Bloc first spouses. The highlight of that event was youth empowerment, where we invited young youth with innovative ideas and who are already in entrepreneurship, and were able to support them financially. It was supposed to be a program that was to continue with supporting them financially and capacity building, just to help them to manage sustainable businesses. But of course, with the limited resources, we're not able to continue it, but we were able to support them financially. It wasn't much, but when I look at it, for me, it meant a lot. Wow. Because if I was able to support a business, even to buy a few supplies here, there, or pay
you
salaries,
planted a seed.
You planted a seed. So that was First Stack Africa Women's Summit. And then we had the Power Summit in Mombasa, which you were part of. Yeah. And the highlight of that was the GBV campaign. When we did that event, we had a lot.
It was at the peak of femicide.
Femicide.
Femicide, I remember.
Femicide. So the highlight of that was the End Femicide campaign, which we did. And then also just training women on cervical cancer. So we had, of course, Aga Khan Hospital was our partner, and we're able to train women on being aware of their body and how to take care of their bodies, and taking initiatives to go do testing for cervical cancer. So that was the highlight of the Power Summit. And then, of course, we have the CI Investment Conference.
That was big. I remember seeing it on TV.
Oh my God, it was big. It was one of our biggest events, and it was one of the most difficult events to execute.
But as they say, what starts with difficulty ends up being the most successful.
Completely.
Yeah.
It was actually, it was sad. We lost Baba on the day of the opening, but other than that, it would have been one of the most successful events.
Yeah.
But I say it was a successful event because through our efforts and that of the county, we were able to mobilize about 14 investments. And as we speak, there are those investments that are being implemented currently in Siaya County. Yeah. So it was one of the most challenging events, but it was one of our best actually. But the mere fact that we're able to get investors to Siaya, for us, it's a big score. It's a big score for us.
But you do all sorts. I'm just trying to imagine, because these are big events, the ones you've done.
Yeah.
But if like a boutique firm comes to you, you're able to also handle, the mid-level, the startups.
Yes.
You can curate everything for everyone.
Exactly. Like right now, we are doing an event for our client, Akode.
The one Akode.
Yes, Madam Boss.
Madam Boss. She's called what there?
The
President of
single mothers.
That one. Yeah.
So like right now we're doing an event for her. It will be on the 11th at Agile Hotel. We are planning, she's doing a book launch. She's written a very beautiful book.
Oh yes, I've been seeing her doing the snippets on social.
She's written a book, Turn Your Pain into Purpose. A very good book.
And her story is also another.
Amazing.
Please bring her on set. Bring her. We interview her.
I look at Akode and I'm like, people judge her based
but they
on
don't
her
understand her story.
They don't understand her story.
Yeah.
And the Akode, the entertainer, and the boardroom Akode, totally different.
Yeah.
Actually, Akode is those people who can sit here and do a 5-hour strategy and be able to execute.
Yeah.
That is why you get brands like Chandaria.
They want to partner with her.
With her.
She's a business lady.
She's a business lady.
Oh,
so we are doing a book launch for her. It is not a big event, but we are still doing it. So what we usually do for like at Elgon events is we manage the events from end to end. We have the client from developing a concept note. Once we've developed our concept note, we come up with the marketing strategy and the publicity strategy, which includes media engagement, outdoor advertisement, influence engagement, just generally marketing and publicity, and then resource mobilization. We also support our clients to raise resources because planning an event is not cheap and it's not easy.
Yeah.
And in as much as you have all the money, but you
need someone to piece the different pieces together. Yeah.
So we also do resource mobilization and then we do on-site coordination. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we're able to do even the small events here and there.
And we'll be sharing her details, please.
Yeah.
As you can see, she's worked with all kind of companies, of people.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, Merci, again, with business to be successful, they usually say it's the vision bearer.
Yes.
How do you hold your teams together? How do you ensure there's that growth, continuous growth at Elgon, group? How do you do it? What are those leadership tips that maybe you can share, with other leaders or founders?
Yeah. I would say involve your team. Let them be part of the vision. You might be the vision bearer, but without a good team or a good support system in terms of the team that you have, the vision is useless. So it's good to involve your team, give them the vision and tell them this is the vision. I would like you to help me realize this vision. And then discuss the strategies of executing that vision together. And then where possible, even one thing I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying how sometimes even when the business grows, in terms of rewarding loyalty, even allocate shares to some of those employees that have been with you
for long, and they've stuck there.
They're stuck there. Yeah. Like we there are times we would even go without salaries for even 3 months.
Yeah.
But the team still,
the spirit is there. They understand because it's their home.
Yes.
It's part of them.
Yes.
So for you, what are your top 3 qualities of leadership that have defined your leadership?
Number 1, I would say good communication and involvement. Number 2, leading by example. You know, if you show your team that if we pray for this opportunity to work, and they will also, follow that example. So leading by example. And number 3, integrity. Always keep your word, and so for me, always tell my team we need to have integrity on how we handle our
to be known for integrity. Even in the worst scenarios, you must keep that integrity.
Kama ni mbaya.
Yeah, but integrity must be intact.
Yes,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what next for Elgon? Grow, because it's been a journey, starting small, growing.
Yeah.
What are you up to now, maybe the next 3 years? Have you achieved the vision? Have you gotten where your dad got? Have you gone beyond? Where do you want to get to?
Okay. Of course, we haven't achieved the vision. It's still work in progress.
Yeah.
In fact, we are not even there yet. We are work in progress.
Yeah.
In terms of comparing to my father, because I used to look up to him, I would want to do better than him. I would want to be better at business than my father. My father had very good ideas, innovative ideas. He would go out and look for money, and he would work. He would work.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, did he have the moral values for him to be able to sustain the business? I don't think so. Did he have a succession plan for his business? No, he didn't. So for me, I would want to have my business where we have very good structures in place, and that is one of the things that I am really, really trying to work on.
Yeah.
That we have proper structures in place and a good succession planning. I've just talked about rewarding employees' loyalty by even allocating them shares.
Yeah.
That is in line with succession planning, because I don't want Elgon to be Merci, because when Merci is gone,
beyond Merci, it should be able to live on. Yeah.
But if you have different shareholders and even have a board that you report to, even beyond Merci, the business can go on. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get into some interesting segments. So we have navy blue, we have orange, we have yellow, we have green, we have red. What's your favorite color? Where do we start?
Because we're in blue today, let's do navy blue.
Navy blue. So I'll ask you to pull one card.
Okay.
Then you give it to me. The middle one.
Yes.
Okay. Leadership and legacy.
Oh.
What a coincidence. Who are the women you carry with you in your leadership journey?
Number 1, Wangari Maathai.
I love her. You've seen my boardroom?
Yes.
I have a portrait of Wangari Maathai.
Oh my God.
She's something else. She's a light in our lives. Yes.
And, her story is very inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say Wangari Maathai, because she inspires me a lot. Wow. Yeah, of course. I have you. I look up to you a lot.
Really? Thank you.
A lot. And then I also have a community of business women that I look up to. And I always say when you're doing business can be very lonely, and getting to have a number of like-minded women to walk the journey with is something that you like. It really helps. It really helps because, as you know, business has ups and downs.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's a number of women in business that I also look up to, yourself included. There's Nerea Omondi of Viance Events. And so many other women.
Oh, wow.
I can't name all.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Quite an honor.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next color: red, orange, green, yellow.
Let's do green.
Green.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what is here.
Middle.
Middle. Interesting again.
Oh my God.
Very interesting. Once again, resilience and triumph.
Yeah.
What's your definition of courage?
Building a business.
Building a business.
Yeah, it takes courage.
Yeah.
When you decide to build a business, you don't know whether you're going to get clients. You don't know whether you're going to get money. You don't know whether you don't even know they're going to get favor. But it takes courage to go
to stick in there and say it must work, and it's going to work.
Yes, it has to
Oh
work.
Wow, courage.
Yeah.
Building a business, yes, as you say, yeah. Totally agree. It takes courage to believe in that vision and to want to fulfill it.
Completely.
Okay, let's go to, we have orange, yellow, red.
It's red.
Let's go to the power color. Let's see what is here.
Let's take this one.
Okay. These guys are talking about you today. Reflection and joy.
Yeah.
How do you practice self-love and self-worth daily?
I practice self-love
And self-worth.
One, by celebrating the daily achievements. Just being able to get up and showing up.
Yeah.
So just going back home and celebrating that achievement, like, I've been able to do this.
Thank God.
Thank God. You give gratitude, and then just take time to recover and rest. Yeah. For me, self-love is about putting my phone on flight mode and just being
no distraction. You just want, your moment.
My moment.
Just relaxing.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have orange and yellow. Where do we go?
Let's do orange.
Orange.
Yeah.
Let's see what's here. These guys are talking about you today.
God.
It's about purpose and calling.
Is that a coincidence? Or
But they are just speaking as in everything you've talked about today, then every card is speaking to that. What is one thing you believe you were born to do?
Inspire other people. Yeah. Inspire and be a blessing to other people.
Yeah.
Inspire. In fact, it's God is a God of order. Not this year. What I said is actually when I was praying and planning for the year, one thing I said is what I would love to do is tell people my story and tell people about how I've been able to come from being an orphan to where I am
At a
today.
very early age,
Yeah. And I said, I actually told God I would want to use my story to inspire somebody.
Wow.
And, it's amazing how when you pray and just God aligns things, now I'm here today. And
Telling your story.
Telling my story. And
Something that was your prayer request this year.
And hoping that it encourages and inspires somebody who wants to take that step and start business that they don't know where to start.
Yeah. Or maybe they're orphans and they're thinking it's the end of the world.
Actually, yeah. And the thing about orphans, we tend to limit ourselves. We tend to feel like the world is always against us. I've seen orphans who always, even in their 30s, are still feeling sorry for themselves. Oh, I'm an orphan, I'm an orphan. But I would like to encourage an orphan out there. Yes, your parents are late, but you can do something with yourself. Just go. And I always also tell people, God favors the orphans a lot.
It's even written in the scriptures.
Yes, He favors the orphans a lot. So don't feel sorry for yourself because you're an orphan. Just go out there and do it, and the universe will align. God will help. So I would love to inspire people and, of course, be a blessing to other people by supporting the orphans out there and even the women that are unable to take care of their children. If I can be able to support them in one or the other, I have done my purpose.
May God bless you, Merci.
Thank you.
And may God fill you with His abundance.
Thank you.
So that you can do much, much more in people's lives.
Thank you.
Okay, lastly,
The
bright color. The bright color. Let's see what is here. The middle. Oh, wow. Read it yourself.
Sisterhood and mentorship, my Lord. What does women lifting women mean to you? Wow. When I'll give an example of women lifting women.
Yeah.
Mean to me through what we are doing right now with Akothe. So I didn't know her long time. I actually knew her in December when we were planning an event in Migori, the Pinyulo event.
Oh yeah, she performed during that event. Yes.
Actually, she did much more than performing. She was able to put together the cultural center. She was able to bring partners to renovate it. And because I'd not known her, I did not know her potential. I didn't know that she can be able to do this. And when we worked together, I was like, wow, she has much more to offer than what people say. Because I've known her, like, people always trolling her, saying, all sorts of things about her. And when I made a decision to work with her, was so that she's a fellow woman. And unfortunately, it is other women who put down other women.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, we need to show the world that this lady is not what people think about her. She is a totally different person. When you actually meet her, forget about what social media says and all that. And people who have traumas also have different ways of
releasing. Coping. So healing.
And healing. So even for her, even her doing whatever she does, even now exchanging things with social media, it's just a defense mechanism and a way of protecting herself.
Which we all do.
Yes.
We always go into combat to protect ourselves and protect our loved ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like, what? We have to make this book launch of hers be a huge success so that people can be able to see the good work and the good side of her. So for me, that is sisterhood. Again, I'll talk about as a woman in business, I have an opportunity event for you. I'd call in like, hey, by then, Noella, there's this business opportunity. Do you think you can be able to do it? That is sisterhood. That is supporting each other. So for me, that is how sisterhood looks to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sticking there for each other.
Sticking there for
holding
each
hands
other.
and we rise together. Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now we transit into another beautiful segment. And I wish to invite my co-host, Angel, to take you through that segment. And looking forward to see your responses for that. So, Angel, welcome on set.
Thank you so much for your insights throughout this session. I've been listening outside the camera, and I'm actually very, very inspired by your journey. I'm inspired by, like, I don't know, how you've like gone through so much and still woke up, dusted yourself, and said, I have to continue.
Yeah.
So for this segment, this is just for the audience to know you at a deeper level.
Okay.
You as a person and
Okay.
Elgon group aside.
Okay.
So I have one sentence answers
Yes.
that you have to give me. So I have a set of segments, which are 3.
Yes.
I'll ask you questions
Okay.
and then you can give me one-word answers.
All right.
Okay, so we'll start off with an event is...
Oh, an event is putting putting everything together.
Okay. Leadership is...
Leadership is being able to lead, being able to lead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Success means...
Oh, living abundantly.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And failure taught me...
Failure taught me resilience.
That's nice. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And now, these are another set of questions. So you can have like a lengthy explanation.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, the first one is, what is the one non-negotiable for a woman starting in events today?
Do not downplay your skills. Yeah, I'd say do not, if you are good at something, do not downplay it. Go in and negotiate based on your ability and skills.
Okay.
Yeah, don't feel, because I am a startup, so let me charge a lower rate so that I can be able to get the job. No. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. How do you advise a creative to prioritize profit over passion?
I would say prioritize passion, because with passion, eventually comes a profit. And even for any business, it takes time before the profit comes. But when you have passion for something, it will drive you to be able to continue and eventually with time start making that profit. So for me, I'd tell them to prioritize passion and not profit.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What do you want your name to represent in 20 years?
A blessing. I want, when people remember Merci, let them remember Merci as a person who blessed them in one way or the other. Be it by giving them encouragement, blessing them with resources, or just being a friend or somebody who was available for them when no one else was. So I would want people to remember me for being a blessing.
That's very warm.
Yeah.
So on to our last segment.
Yes.
Her memoir in one line. So now this is a closing reflection about you.
Okay.
So if your life were a book, what would the title be?
Ooh. I think for me, my story is more about resilience. Yeah, so I think the title of my book would be Building in Resilience.
Building in Resilience.
Yes.
That's actually nice.
Yeah.
And what is the name of this current season of your life?
Peaceful.
Peaceful.
Yeah. I am at peace.
Okay.
Actually, peaceful. I'd start with healing and peaceful.
Healing and peaceful.
Yes, because there's so much, with all the childhood traumas and the failures I've had in life, it has had it can wound. Yeah, like I would say, it wounded me in so many ways. So at the moment, I am on a healing journey, and of course, prioritizing peace. So I would say healing and peace. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what is one single phrase that defines your journey so far?
Blessed.
Blessed.
Yes.
Okay. What do you dedicate your success story to?
God. Yeah.
Actually, to be who do you dedicate your success story to?
Oh, who?
God.
Yeah, God.
Okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, how should the world remember Merci Wamoto?
As a giver.
Giver.
Yes. And a blessing.
Oh.
Yeah, a blessee. Is it a blessee or a blesser?
A blesser?
A blesser.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it for our last segment.
Thank
you so much for letting us know you beyond Elgon Group.
Thank you so much.
Beyond the giver. We
you.
know that you are a person who has ambitions, and every day I pray for God to make them work for you.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So with that, I feel like I will invite our host to come and give our closing remarks.
Yay.
And also gift our guest,
Oh,
Noella. Welcome back on set.
Wow. What a moving episode. I think Merci reminds us that it's not about how you begin, but it's how you end it. At times, things happen in our lives and we tend to remain at the bottom. But there's always power at the bottom, because that power down there gives you that drive to bounce back and go beyond the normal struggle, the normal challenges. I love the question about what do you want history to remember you for, and you said a giver. And I know, Merci, you give a lot. May we keep giving. May we keep being good sisters, lifting each other up, right?
Thank you.
And we celebrate you.
Thank you.
It's been a journey, not an easy journey,
Yeah.
but we count the blessings, right,
We thank
Merci?
God.
Oh, we celebrate Elgon Group. You're doing so well, commendably well. Please let us know, how can people reach out to you? What's your email? What's your number?
All right. So Elgon Group, our email is admin@elgongroup.co.ke. Our phone number is 0722-808072. You can find us on Instagram at Elgon Group, TikTok at Elgon Group, Facebook at Elgon Group, X at Elgon Group, and LinkedIn, just Merci Wamoto. Thank you.
Wow. I've been to her events. If you want a very well executed event, then please, the details are right under the screen here. Please reach out to them. So thank you, Merci. At her memoir, we like
you
giving
so much.
our unique flowers
Oh,
to everyone. So
you.
this is something small from us. We
so
say her story, her strength, her memoir. Every woman has a story.
Thank you.
In that story, there is so much strength. In that strength, we all have a memoir that when others read, then they get motivated. They get, that inspiration.
Yeah.
And today, we say Mercy's stories, Mercy's strength, Mercy's memoir.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angel. Thank you. Asante sana. Asante. Wow, this is lovely.
It is. You love it? How was it? You love
Thank
it?
you. Yes.
Asante.
Very much. Thank
To
you
just
so
celebrate
much.
Merci.
Thank
And you talked about you working with a client to do a book launch.
Yes.
Merci, you need to write a book. I think your book will be a bestseller.
Wow.
And I liked what you said, that at times orphans in your 30s, 40s, you're still feeling sorry for yourself. But there's so much you can do. It's not how we start, it's how we end.
Yes.
So hopefully one day we'll also write your book. Her memoir will write your book, write your memoir.
Amazing. I'm actually thinking about it.
Yeah.
So when I am ready, I will come.
Sawa sawa. Okay, that was it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the recommendations you keep sending to us, the women you want to see their story, hear their story. Keep following us, keep subscribing. We are building a community, a wonderful community. Please continue being part of that community. Again, also our details are right at the bottom of the screen. If there's this woman you want us to host, make sure you drop us that email or that message. Until next time, let's keep giving. Let's keep being blessings in other people's lives. Bye-bye.
Bye.